Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're moving past some of the theory.
Yeah, getting practical.
Exactly. We want to equip you with like 3 essential pillars for everyday JavaScript. Inspection, seeing what's inside your objects, communication, getting data moved around.
That's over the network, APIs, that sort of thing.
Right. And finally, organization. Keeping your code files, well, organized. This is really the toolkit for code that doesn't become a mess.
Absolutely. And look, this stuff is, it's really non-negotiable if you're building anything substantial. We're focusing just on the core mechanics you actually use.
Day-to-day stuff.
Yeah. Managing data structures inside your app, handling data coming in or going out, getting bogged down in endless theory.
Okay, let's start with inspection. Those built-in object methods, the ones that let you peek inside.
Right.
We've got the 3 main array returning ones, object.keys.
That gives you the property names. Yeah.
Yep, just an array of strings, the names.
Then object.values. That's the actual data inside. The corresponding values for those keys.
And object.entries. This one seems, I don't know, more powerful somehow.
It really is. Because, see, object.entries doesn't just give you a list of keys or values. It gives you both together.
Oh, okay.
So if you have an object like, say, object.entries gives you back an array of little key value arrays.
Gotcha. An array of pairs.
Exactly. And that structure, that's perfect if you need to like loop through an object and do something with both the key and the value at the same time. Maybe turn it into a map or something.
Makes sense. Okay, so once we can see inside an object, sometimes we need to, well, lock it down, right? Stop things from changing accidentally. Immutability.
Yes, absolutely critical sometimes. And that brings us to object.freeze. This isn't just a minor utility. No, it's often a bigger decision, like an architectural choice. You'd use it for maybe configuration data.
Stuff that shouldn't change during runtime.
Exactly. Or maybe application state in certain patterns. Once you call object.freeze, my object, that's it. Properties can't be changed, can't add new ones, can't delete existing ones. It's frozen.
Locked in. What about copying objects? I see object.assign used a lot.
Yeah, object.assign is definitely common for making copies. It merges objects together, or you could use it to copy one into a new empty object.
But there's a catch, isn't there? Something about nested objects?
The catch is it's a shallow copy. So if your original object has properties that are themselves objects, object.assign copies the references to those nested objects, not the objects themselves. So if you change something deep inside the copy, you might accidentally change the original too.
Right, because they're still linked underneath. Tricky.
It can definitely bite you if you're not expecting it. It's often fine, but you need to be aware.
Okay, so speaking of moving data, what about sending these objects outside our application, like to a server or saving to local storage? That's where JSON comes in, right? JavaScript object notation.
Correct. JSON is basically the universal translator for data on the web.
The common language.
Exactly. It dictates the format data must be in when it travels, usually through an API. And there are 2 absolutely crucial processes you have to understand here.
Okay, lay them out for us.
So first, you have your nice JavaScript object in your code, right? With methods, maybe complex types.
Yep.
Before you can send it over the network or save it somewhere like local storage, you need to convert it into a plain JSON string. That process is serialization.
And we do that with?
JSON.stringify.
Yep.
You take your object, run it through JSON.stringify, and out comes a string representation.
Okay, so stringify to send it out.
Right. Then when data comes back in, say, from an API response, it arrives as that JSON string.
And we can't use it directly like that.
Nope. You need to turn back into a usable JavaScript object. That's deserialization. And you use JSON.parse.
Stringify out, parse in.
You got it. JSON.parse takes the string, turns it back into a proper JavaScript object or array you can work with. If you miss either step, your data handling just breaks.
And JSON has those strict rules, like double quotes everywhere?
Yes. That rigidity is actually what makes it work so well across different languages. Keys must be strings in double quotes. String values must be in double quotes. No functions, no comments allowed inside. It keeps it simple and universal.
Got it. Okay, finally, let's talk organization. Big projects get messy fast. ES6 modules help with that.
Oh, absolutely essential. Modules are how you structure larger applications. They let you encapsulate logic into separate files and control exactly what gets shared and what stays private.
Prevents everything ending up in the global scope, causing chaos.
Exactly. Avoids naming collisions, makes code reusable and maintainable. The main thing to get right, though, is the difference between the 2 types of exports.
Ah, yes, the import-texport syntax. That trips people up.
It does. So you have named exports. You use these when a file might need to share, several different things. Maybe a few helper functions, a constant.
Multiple pieces.
Right. When you export them, you use export thing on, thing to. And crucially, when you import them elsewhere, you must use the curly braces, and the names have to match exactly.
So import thing on, thing to from .myutils.js.
Precisely. The curly braces are the signal for named imports.
Okay, what's the alternative?
The default export. You use this when a file's main purpose is to export one primary thing, like a main class or a default configuration object.
Only one main export.
You only get one default export per file.
Okay.
And the syntax difference is key. You export it with export default my main thing. When you import it, no curly braces. And you can actually rename it right there in the import statement if you want. So you could write import myCoolClass from .myCoolClass.js or import special config from myCoolClass.js. The lack of braces tells you it's the default export.
Yeah, syntax difference is the big clue. Braces mean named, no braces means default.
Exactly. Understanding that makes reading and writing modular code much easier.
Okay, great stuff. So let's wrap this deep dive up. What should you, the listener, take away?
Well, first, know how to inspect your objects. Object.entries is super handy for transformations.
Right. Second, master that JSON handshake. JSON.stringify to turn objects into strings for sending.
Serialization.
And JSON.parse to turn those strings back into objects when they arrive.
Deserialization. Can't forget those.
And finally, understand modules. Curly braces on import mean it was a named export. No braces. That's the default export.
Perfect summary. We've covered how to structure your data, inspect it, protect it, and how to send it around. But that raises a really important question.
Oh, what's that?
Think about fetching data. You use JSON.parse on data from a server, right? What if that server is slow? What happens to your application, to the user interface? Well, it's just waiting.
Uh-oh. Does it just freeze? Like the whole page becomes unresponsive?
It absolutely can. And that's a terrible user experience. So the really critical next piece of this puzzle, the thing that underpins modern web performance and stops those freezes, that's asynchronous programming in the event loop.
A huge topic.
Massive. But understanding that is really the next major step you need to explore to build truly responsive professional applications. Something to chew on.